And welcome to another episode of Bullish, your station for all things cargo, hauling, commodity trading. If we can throw it in the back of a ship and sell it and flip it, this is your channel for it. As we go through and deep dive every aspect of it, whether it's commodities, ships, routes, you name it, we're going to talk about it. Tonight on your market breakdown, we're going to specifically focus on one commodity, Laranite. So before we jump into that, let's do a quick word from the sponsors for tonight's episode, and we'll jump right into it. This episode of Bullish is brought to you by our good friends at SC Wealth Corp. Stop the grind, find a community. At SC Wealth Corp, you will find events with massive rewards, huge lottery-sized giveaways, and a unique casino. So come, hang out, try your luck and win some aUEC, but importantly, find a solid community. They offer 1 million aUEC just for joining the Discord channel. That's right, no strings attached, just join the Discord channel. And for those wishing to skip the whole grind, they offer safe, risk-free aUEC purchase option, so you can jump straight into the Star Citizen action. SC Wealth Corp, stop the grind, find a community. Link to the Discord is below in the description. Alrighty. Thank you, SC Wealth Corp. Really good people over there. Great community. If you haven't yet, again, check the description. Join their Discord. Great people there. So tonight's episode, Laranite. If you watch any of the videos, been a part of this at all, you know how much I really disdain Laranite. I don't know why it keeps getting pushed as just the end-all be-all commodity to purchase and sell. It's just the numbers don't support any of that. And so I've been on a Laranite kick lately, and so we're going to kind of deep dive into Laranite, where to buy, where to sell, refresh rates, all of it. So let's get started. So where can you actually purchase Laranite at? There's actually 5 places you can go to. 4 main ones, one off the beaten path that I never go to because it's just out of the way and hitting it in makes no sense. Destroys your profit over time, your POT. So don't even go there. So here they are. First one, in ArcCorp Walla 045. This place you can average lately at probably the cheapest amount is 27.09. Next on the list, still on Walla, is 056. Here you can purchase about 27.54. Not bad. Still one of the lower end ones, but that's the two there. Then you jump over into the Hurston system, go to Ariel, Besdick, you can purchase it at 27.66. Then on the same Ariel, you can go down to Lathan and get it for 27.79. It's probably the highest it goes for, so it's usually one of my last places to go to. Try and fill up before I get there. Fifth one, like I said, there's a fifth one I don't go to. It's in Crusader on Selling at Tram and Myers. You get it for 27.24. So second lowest, but again, why go all the way out there? And we'll go into in further detail why not to even bother with it. So where can you sell it at? So we purchased it, we're selling it. Now where do we go? Bunch of places to go to, about 6 of them. Really 4 main ones. So basically all the cities. If it's a major city, go there. Area 18, that the TDD, again 31.01. That's pretty much the standard price you'll get for Laranite, regardless of where you go. I have seen it fluctuate where it drops down a little bit. So if a lot of people are selling Laranite, I've seen it drop down to 30 point something. I've never seen it go above 31.01, but it is a little dynamic. Orison, so go to Crusader, sell it at the TDD in Orison, again 31.01. Go to Lorville and Hurston at the CBD, 31.01. And Microtech, New Babbage, the TDD, 31.01. So those are your major cities, of course. So the other 2 ones that you may not know about, one is an ArcCorp on Lyria at the Orphanage. Again, it goes for 31.01 right now. Again, when we get into the refresh rates, I'll tell you why. Don't even bother selling there. It's pointless. And then for all you pirates out there, gotta give a little bit of love to the pirates. If you get down to Crew L5, the beautiful Glen Station, no questions asked console. I don't know what it goes for. doesn't really list it anywhere, and I don't really sell there. So, but if you do happen to pick some up, especially in when 3.18 drops, feel free to go over there. So to summarize it real quick, lowest prices you'll find in Wallet 0.45. Best place to sell, any of the major cities, whatever floats your boat. Laranite. So you bought it, you sold it, what can you expect? So the average profit margin is around 10.4%. And I've done dozens of runs, dozens of calculations on it. The lowest or the worst profit margin I've ever gotten is 8.8%. And the highest profit margin I've ever gotten, the best, is 11.8%. Not good numbers. If you want to go deep diving further into it, a fully loaded C2, if you just sat there and filled a C2 full of just Laranite, you're going to invest 1.9 million of your own money into it, with the net profit looking around 200K. So it's a lot of investment, a lot of things go wrong, especially when 3.18 comes around. So in the background, as you see, we're in the video, this is actually a run I did a little bit earlier. It is a Walla Laranite run, not a loop, a run. Basically, as you'll see, I'll go to all the 4 major stations and buy Laranite, and then I sell it in Lorville. But we'll go over some routes in the end. Refresh rates. So here's where we get even further into the details of Laranite. Going back to all the places where you can purchase Laranite at. Walla 0.45. The capacity or the inventory there at that station is 50K. Now remember, when we talk about 50K, we're not talking about 50,000 SCU. They should be talking about CSCU. And so like a C2 holds 696 SCU, but actually it's 69,600 CSCU. So that's when we're talking about the 50K. So 0.45 capacity, max it can hold at any point in time is 50K. The refresh rate is 2K a minute, not a whole lot. Jumping over to Walla 0.56, again, same thing, capacity, inventory, you're looking at 50K, and the refresh rate drops even more drastically to only 500 a minute. So a quarter of what Walla 45 is. As you see here on the console, again on the left, you see the CSU or the C2, the 696. Once we actually purchase Laranite and fill it in, you'll see on the left side again, it'll give you your CSU quantity. So there at the bottom, you see 12 SCU, which is actually 1159 CSCU is what we're actually purchasing. So if you want to be very accurate, make sure you're tracking the CSCU, not the SCU, because it will mess up your spreadsheets and stuff. So you go, purchasing it, spent 31,000. Boom, boom. On the left side, you see 1200 CSCU. So hopefully you caught that. It goes pretty quickly. So back to refresh rates. So we talked about the Walla stations. Selling Tram and Myers, the max inventory capacity for Laranite there is a abysmal 15K, right? So all the Walla stations are 50K. This one's 15,000. And its refresh rate is only 146 a minute. So yeah, just terrible. No reason to go there. No capacity, no refresh rate. You'll barely scratch the surface of your C2. The only thing I can think of to reason to go down there is maybe if you're in a low end or a medium size cargo ship. But again, unless you're just going from selling straight to Orson and selling, there's really no point. Going to Hurston, Besdick and Lathan both have the capacity of 100,000 there. So double the capacity of the Walla stations. And the refresh rates both are 1,389. So 700 less a minute than 0.45, but you have the potential of having double the inventory already sitting there for you. Selling it. So you bought it, you filled your C2, you're going to sell again. Let's talk about the refresh rates for selling. So if you've done any of the Nine Tails lockdown events, especially the medical supplies runs, and you go into those stations to sell med supplies, you'll notice that sometimes other players have come, they've sold their supplies, and now you have to wait your turn. So that's the refresh rate for the station, for you to sell. So here we go. Area 18, the max capacity to be sold there is 500,000 with a refresh rate of 5K a minute. Orson, again, 500K, max can be sold there. Refresh rate is 8,681. The next two are going to be identical to Orson, Lorville and New Babbage, both 500K with a refresh rate of 8681 per minute. So the two off the beat ones, Lyria the Orphanage. So if you go to sell there, they only can take in 10,000 with a refresh rate of 2K a minute. So again, all the major cities, 500K capacity with a 5,000 a minute, or almost 8.6K a minute, whereas why go to Orphanage and only sell capacity at 10K? No clue. For CRUL5, the beautiful Glen Station, their max capacity you can sell there is 5K with a refresh rate of 1K a minute. So again, all you pirates, get it, go there. You might be there a little bit to try it. It might take you a little bit to sell your whole supplies, especially with the new 318. We're talking about anywhere from 0 to 90% of the cargo can be blown up and taken into the new ship. So good luck if you blow up a C2. So to summarize again, best places to buy the most Laranite and fill up the fastest, my recommendation is going to be Besdik or Lathan. I would go there first. I would try and get it. That way you can load the most in at once. I know it's not the best pricing, and maybe that's where they're trying to offset in Star Citizen. The most capacity, higher price, or you get better prices with a lower inventory in Walla. Up to you what you're going to do, but that's just my recommendation is hit Besdik and Lathan, try and fill up your C2 as fast as possible. Now, let's get into some nut and bolts, routes. One of the things we'll be doing on this channel is giving you some cookie cutter routes, something that you can take and you can follow step by step and standardize your routes, standardize how much money you're making, and so you can kind of judge how you're doing. So as I mentioned earlier, this is the Walla Laranite run. We could also do the Walla Laranite loop, or the other flip side of that is the Lorville run or loop. So how do I distinguish between the two? So the Hurston Laranite run, that's a one-way trip, whereas a loop, you will buy everything and leave Lorville, buy everything, come back to Lorville and sell. So in the loop, you leave Lorville, go to 045, excuse me, then go to 056, Besdik, Lathan, and then come back to Lorville to sell. If you want to do the run, leave Lorville, go to all those places, sell at Area 18, or do the vice versa with the Walla run ending in Lorville. To an alternate version of that, what I like to do with the loop is, let's say I'm leaving Lorville, I'll hit Ariel, get Besdik and Lathan, go down to Walla, hit 45 and 56, and then since I'm coming back to Lorville to sell anyway, I'll hit Lathan and Besdik again to pick up any like last minute Laranite that respawned in, that refreshed in. And then of course with any of these runs, you always want to pick your filler commodity, because especially with Laranite, you're never going to fill up your C2. So if you're going to do the Lorville run, you're usually going to end in the Lorville run, you'll end in Walla. So you want to pick up diamonds at 045. It's usually the cheapest place you can find diamonds. If you're going to do the Walla run and you'll be selling in Lorville, you want to stop in Lathan, I believe has the cheapest titanium. And so that'll fill in where you couldn't get all the Laranite you could. So let's talk about finish up the Hurston Laranite run loop. So again, Lorville, go down to 045, 056, Besdik, Lathan, and then selling again in Lorville. The POT, your profitable time, what I found is you're looking about 2K a minute. It's actually not really good. A titanium run for me, I can get it to 5.5K a minute, well over double a minute. And what's your POT? We've talked about in some of the other videos, so go find that video and we'll talk about POT. But that's basically how much money you're making doing what you're doing per minute. RRT, the term we haven't gone over yet, that's your route runtime. That is for this one, for the Hurston Laranite loop, is actually 61 minutes. So by the time I do all my routes from takeoff to terminal. So once I take off, I get back and I run all the way to the CBD to sell. As soon as I get to the terminal, I stop my timer. So that's 61 minutes. Profit margin for that loop. I know we talked about Laranite as a whole only getting you 10%. For this actual loop, I get about 15.5%. So that's good. And then my net profit, and let's be honest, in the end, net profit is all we really care about because that's how much our money we're actually taking in at the end of the day, right? 125K. Not great. If you want to be very specific, 125,674 is what I make on those loops. Not great, especially at 61 minutes. I can turn around and do a titanium run, do it in 20 minutes, and make 100K to 125K also. But if your heart's set on Laranite, go for it. So there we go. That is Laranite. That is our deep dive into Laranite. Again, I know I've told this before, but stop buying Laranite. Stop it. Especially when 318 rolls out and people are going to be pirating you. Putting in that much money into Laranite, investing it 1.9 million just to have some pirate come and blow you up and take it, it's not worth it. Not for 200K in profit. You can do that doing titanium, acetine, agricium, med supplies, diamonds. Do it, whatever you want to do. Just stop doing Laranite. I know it looks good because you average what? Buy to 27, sell to 31. Big numbers, but if you do the math, it's just not worth it. Hit me up. We're going to be moving on into either terminology next time on our market breakdown. We might go over RRT or PPC, some of the new terms that we haven't gone over yet. Might even pick up a route, do a route, run it. If you want me to do a live stream, we'll do some routes on the live stream. Just let me know what you think. Thank you guys again for all the support. Thank you for everything you guys have been doing and helping me out. And all your suggestions and comments. I really appreciate the criticism and critiques. Just want to make everything better, and can't wait to see you guys around the verse.